In this fourth video of our series on Colonial Williamsburg, we start by visiting a leather worker.
Okay. So when I'm making bridges, for example, the main panel that's going to become the leg and the seat of the bridges, that's coming basically out of the haunch of the animal.
I'm Steve.
I'm Nancy, and together we are living our dream. Our goal, to travel the U.S. and Canada,
While spreading the messages taught to us by our pets of
keep smiling, be kind,
and be happy. Join us on our travels by subscribing to our channel as we continue our great adventure.
Well, how do you think that water got dirty? I didn't leave my feet. The leather has what's called a memory, and so it will stay in whatever shape I put it in whilst it's wet.
Really? So you don't have to clean, you just have to bend it.
No, I just pinched it, and then I took and tapped it down with my shoemaker's hammer. And that way I'm ready to stitch, and as I go, so I can start stitching it, and it's going to take the shape I need it to take.
Oh, wow, no, it has memory. Wow.
Yep, that's only happens with tanned leather. When I say tanned leather, that's a specific process that uses tannins, which are found in tree bark. She's fine.
You know, I thought this grocer was another historical shop. Well, that is until I saw the Coke on the shelf. They sold Coca-Cola back then.
Worse.
Candy was a big deal?
Candy was a big deal about 4 months ago.
Then on to the dressmaker.
So as professionals, as everyone's reliant on those professionals to get those clothes made for them, really our daily wage is pretty low across the board so that people can afford our labor. And then it's the cost of material, which will vary significantly and really state whether a garment is cheap or expensive. Individuals, for example, who are serving sort of these semi-formalized apprenticeships who learn this distinct use.
So how many hours or how long to sew a dress like this from start to finish?
We estimate at this point that we'll have about 50 hours in the
okay.
we worked on it, the three of us, over the last 4 Sundays.
And then the silversmith.
We don't count coins. We actually weigh them on scales like this one here. So that means all these items in here are still very much money because they're quite literally made up of money. They're worth their weight in silver and gold, if you've heard that before. So our job is to turn your money into a savings account, really.
So is that why silverware was passed down? It was sort of like the inheritance? And
Kind of. This is kind of like the family savings account.
Yeah.
But today, when we inherit something like that, we're not going to change it, you know.
Sample of drinking chocolate at the end of the tour. Coffee if you're allergic to chocolate. We always say try the chocolate if you can.
But coffee, I guess, from the Caribbean because of the trade.
You can grow mountainous areas of Jamaica by the time we're in the 1760s.
Yep.
Because this was a shut warehouse by the Revolution. But in the 1760s, the port served as the scene for the Stamp Act resistance. And so that's one of the main reasons you will want to have a this building here. The other was to give people a sample of what colonial chocolate.
We were fortunate enough to attend an event with Thomas Jefferson speaking.
I've realized I've not made introduction. You have no idea who I am. Do you want the good news or the bad news? The bad. You can always tell the Hobbesian philosophers, known for their dark view of mankind. I'm a Lockean philosopher, John Locke. I believe in the lightness of mankind, but indeed, occasionally we must listen to the Hobbesian, so I shall indeed tell you the bad. The bad news is I am not known for my skills at extemporaneous speech. It has been said of me that I have a bit of a stutter, that I have a high-pitched and squeaky voice, and that I cannot string 3 sentences together. Do you want the good news?
Yes.
I'm not Patrick Henry. Thank God. Else we'd be here until tomorrow morning, and I just would have finished my opening remarks. I know not where that man gets his great torrent of language. I say perhaps it's divinely inspired. I'm glad that 6 of you have studied your very recent history. The Continental Congress, round of applause for the young lady. Do you know why we had a Continental Congress in the first place? We started in 74, you know. You know why that Continental Congress was called? Do you know that in 73, the year prior to 74, that is indeed how math works. The year prior in 73, what happened in Boston? A tea party? Only a Bostonian would destroy private property and call it a party. Yes, I suppose they dumped 10,000 pounds sterling worth of tea in the harbor there. The destruction of private property. But do you know what happened because of that destruction, that protest? You know what happened? Let me ask you, does your government tend to react just enough or overreact? Overreact. You know this from personal experience, do you know? What do you think the government did in Massachusetts when Bostonians did what Bostonians do best, and that's destroy private property? What do you think the government did? React just enough. They shut... Lady, I like you. Yet again, she knows the answer. One of the many infringements of the Massachusetts men's rights was that they shut down the harbors, called the Port Bill. Or on June the 1st of 74, they were supposed to be shut down, punishing an entire colony because of the actions of a few men. Parliament, when we see this happen, when we see a military government instituted in Massachusetts, martial law instituted across the land, thousands of troops injected into that colony, and indeed, yes ma'am, the ports shut down, we in Virginia said we are going to stand and side with Massachusetts. Not because they destroyed private property, but because we see the infringement of their rights. And friends, I can tell you as an attorney, that if you allow the destruction of your neighbor's rights, you allow the destruction of your own. Yes? Yes. It is in your self-interest to protect your neighbor's rights.
Here, here.
What do you think our governor did when he heard this? Do you think he reacted just enough? Oh no. He overreacted. He put us out of a job. We members of the House of Burgesses. He dissolved the House of Burgesses from that building. Where does any man go when he finds himself out of a job?
Tavern.
To the tavern! First you go to the tavern and then you tell your wife. It's important you get it in that order. We marched as free men from that very building down this very street to a tavern just there called the Raleigh Tavern. Have you been? Over several bowls of rum, we said we need to meet face to face with all of our sister colonies. Every single one. Continental Congress. So what's the whole reason we even have a Continental Congress? Because of what happened right here. Yes?
Yes.
Because of men who marched. Me, I was one of them, marched from that building to the Raleigh Tavern. What's the most important document to come out of the Continental Congress? Thank you, the Declaration of Independence. Which means, friends, you're sitting in the cradle. Right now, you're sitting in the crucible. The inception of this entire experiment was begun right here. Not in Philadelphia, not in New York, and not in Boston. Don't let Boston tell you anything different.
In our next video on Colonial Williamsburg, we visit a cabinet maker, a weaver, and more. As always, keep smiling. and be kind.